Right, top of the morning show to all the beautiful listeners of Badegi Radio 90.1 FM Mina. Thank you for always staying right here with us. Today is Saturday, the 31st day in the month of January year 2026. Studio time check is 7:32 a.m. I am Usman Apaya, welcoming you to another bumper package of weekend review of the national dailies. Yes, this is the platform that gives you a rundown review of some of the captivating stories that trended over the last 7 days of the week. We as well give you opportunity to make your voices heard on the program via our telephone line 09138579001 and on Facebook at Badegi Radio 90.1 MHz-FM and on YouTube at Badegi Radio 90.1 TV. Yes, starting this very bright and promising Saturday morning, we have this very interesting caption. We have confirmed alteration in the gazetted tax law reps panel. The minority caucus of the House of Representatives have confirmed that some of Nigeria's recent gazetted tax law were illegally altered after being passed by the National Assembly and assented to by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This was disclosed in the interim report of the Minority Caucus Ad hoc Committee on Tax Law set off to investigate the allegations of discrepancies between the Tax Reform Act passed by the legislature and version published in the official gazette. Controversy followed public outrage after a member of House of Representatives Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki, PDP Sokoto, raised the alarm on the floor of the chamber over the alleged discrepancies between the gazetted tax law in circulation and the version passed by the National Assembly. Another very interesting story: military airstrike ground troops hits terrorist hideout in Kwara. A little insight into that story has it that the ongoing military airstrike and ground operations have targeted terrorist camp in part of Edu, Ifilodun and Patigi local government area of Kwara states. Several kidnappers and terrorists were neutralized during the coordinated offensive. It was gathered that concerns were raised over the activities of malls and informat within some communities that has hampered the effective coordination. The Chief Press Secretary to the Kwara State Governor, Rafiu Ajakai, confirmed the development in a statement on Saturday. He said, and I quote, "Those informers provide advanced information on troops' movement, thereby hampering the effectiveness of operation," he added. According to a statement, the military operation hit a bandit hideout in Baba Shango area of Ifilodun Bogu axis of Edu and Lata community in Patigi. The ongoing airstrike and ground operation has successfully targeted terrorist camps across the affected areas. Kudos to the Nigerian troops for this wonderful achievement. we hope the tempo will be maintained. Another very interesting story that trended over the week. January 23 is World Betrayal Day, Konkoso. The national leader of the new Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), Senator Rabiu Musa Konkoso, has declared January 23 as World Betrayal Day. Konkoso's statement was against the backdrop of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf dumping the NNPP. While addressing his loyalists at his Mila Road residence in Kano, Konkoso made reference to the day, saying the idea of adopting the day as such was inspired by a social media commentator who described the governor's NNPP exit as an act of betrayal. Yes, betrayal is one of the features of democracy. Yes, one of the character and characteristics of democracy, you may say. Another very interesting story here. Military finally admit coup plot against Tinubu. The military high command has admitted that some of its officials plotted to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In October last year, there were reports that officers ranging from rank of captain to brigadier general were arrested and detained by the Defense Intelligence Agency (DIA) for attempting to overthrow President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government. The defense headquarters and the presidency had at that time denied that there was a coup attempt, despite widespread reports linking it to the cancellation of the December 1 Independence Day parade by the president. But on Monday, Daily Trust leads with a story on how the report of the panel, which probed the arrested officers, submitted its findings to the president. In a statement issued after the report, the Director of Defense Information, Samaila Uba, the Major General, confirmed that the probe panel have indeed submitted its report to the appropriate superior authority. Uba said those with cases to answer will be formally arraigned before the appropriate military judicial panel to face trial in accordance with Armed Forces Act and other applicable service regulations. Yes, there has been a kind of argument and counter-argument over the attempted coup. Many media have come to actually report that there was a coup attempt to be carried out on the 1st of October, the Independence Day, and that news was being debunked by the High Command of the Nigerian Army and the presidency. But again, after some findings, they are coming to take back their words, as they have confirmed that there was an attempted coup. This is democracy. We hope our democracy will continue to prosper. Yes, we actually need democracy to be strengthened in Nigeria. A coup or military intervention is not actually needed at this point in time. 26 years after uninterrupted democracy, there is need for the democracy to continue to flourish. But the leaders, on other way around, have to do the right thing so that the minds of other people who are advocate of military intervention in government will be disabused. So politicians, political leaders need to wake up from their big slumber and do the right thing in accordance with the tenets of democracy. Another very interesting story here. Angry workers chase weakest motor card. There was a tension in Abuja on Monday when a group of angry workers of the Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA) reportedly chased the motorcade of a minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, during a protest over alleged unresolved welfare and salary issues. In a video cited by Daily Trust, The workers who had been on strike were seen gathering to press their demand before becoming visibly agitated as Wike's convoy passed through the area. The protesters were heard chanting and moving towards the vehicle while calling for attention to their grievances. Yes, let's give you an insight to that.
Running out, see him sneaking out. See him sneaking out. See Wike sneaking out. See him running. See him running. Ole! 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 See Wike running. See him running. See him running. Wike is running. Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Ole! 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 Ole!
Yes, this is what actually transpired in Abuja. Yes, as a protester, we were chasing the Minister of Federal Capital, Jensen Wike. So yes, I think with this, I think his morale will definitely, cut down a little, because Wike has appeared to be, yes, a kind of emperor in the Federal Capital. Many workers are not happy with the way and manner he goes about his stint. His stints. Now that the workers are on strike, they took advantage of that to humiliate Wike. This is very, very unfortunate. Governors can't guarantee you victory, Aregbesola tell APC. The National Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Rafiu Aregbesola, have warned that the All Progressive Congress that the array of governors moving into the party will not guarantee its victory in 2027. Speaking at launch of a book written by the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC, Aregbesola said if previous elections were nothing to go by, the assertion going on that APC is sure of victory in 2027 is not true. He recalled that the situation in the southeast and southwest in the last election is a pointer that governors don't guarantee election victory. He said, and I quote, "There is this assertion going round which is worrisome because of those of us who were Democrats. They said because 30 governors are supporting a party, and for that reason that the party is going to win election. He called the statistics in Nigeria do not support this, but I want the members to know that the last election in this country and the result from the election never supported this particular belief. I will use the result from two zones, southwest and southeast, to punctuate this argument that governors define electoral victory for parties." Yes. He said that despite the overwhelming number of APC governors in the southwest in 2023, the party only got 55% of the votes. Yes, another very interesting story here. Turkey signed pact on counter-terrorism. A little insight into that story has it that Nigeria has signed fresh security agreement with Turkey to help in its fight against insecurity. It was gathered that 9 agreements were signed between Turkey and Nigeria on Tuesday in the presence of Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The agreements were signed following one-on-one and delegation-level meeting at the presidential palace in Turkey's capital, Ankara. The two sides signed several agreements and memorandum of understanding covering cooperation in diaspora policy, media and communication, higher education, halal accreditation, military cooperation, and cooperation with diplomatic academies. Both sides also adopted a joint deliberation establishing the Joint Economic and Trade Committee, JETCO. While pledging support for Nigerians' fight against terrorism, President Erdogan said Ankara reviewed options for closer cooperation in military training and intelligence during talks with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, this is very, very interesting. Like we have said on this one of our platform on this radio, that this is a very, very giant, achievement by Nigeria. The president must be in Turkey so that he can take advantage of the technology and, of course, their sophisticated warfare equipment so that they can help Nigeria. I think it's a very good one. We have to commend the government for taking this giant step. We hope and pray that, yes, in no distant time, Nigeria will begin to receive, the advantage of going to Turkey to have, bilateral agreement so that most of those agreements that was being signed therein could see the light of the day, and most importantly, the one that had to do with security, because today Nigeria, one of the bedeviling things that is bringing the country to its knees is issue of security. Nigeria is faced with terrible insecurity, and going to Turkey believing that in no distant time we are going to surmount all our challenges, particularly on the issue of security. We hope and pray this see the light of the day. Primary school teachers awarded 50 million car house. The primary school teacher Solenkeke Francis Taiwo have emerged the overall best teacher in Nigeria for 2025, winning 50 million naira, a brand new car, and a full furnished 2-bedroom house. Even though outstanding teachers selected from a pool of nominees drawn from 36 states and Federal Capital Territory also received 25 million naira each. The federal government has introduced a reward scheme to honor teachers for their dedication, devotion, and impact on learning outcomes. The award totaling 325 million naira were presented at the Nigerian Teachers Summit held at Abuja on Tuesday. Salanka is a teacher at Ansaruddin Men's School 1, Kenta Ilawo, in Akwa Abeokuta South Local Government Area of Ogun State. The 11 other awardees are Mrs. David Kocholon Joseph of GSS Nyango Giel, Plateau State, Malam Musa Abubakar Garba of GSS Tudunwada, Kaduna State, Ifyo TK Hope Chukwebe of a Government Technical College, Onitsha, Anambra State, Obafemi Peter Lawal of Oriwa Senior Model College, Ikorodu, Lagos State, Jonathan Gilando and Bashir Hanti of Argungu Emirate Model Primary School, Kebbi State. Other are Blessing Ikong Chinwe Ituma, Bongo Lawan, Khadija Galadima, and Okite Chuku. Yes, it will interest you to know that Khadija Galadima is from Niger State. She is one of those who were being crowned as one of the best teachers in the north central of the country. Yes, in the north central of all the 6 states, including the FCT, she happened to be the most outstanding teacher in 2025. So congratulations to Khadija Galadima family. Congratulations to Niger State. Congratulations to the Ministry of Education, particularly the primary school teachers. It will interest you once again to know that Khadija is from IBB Primary School here in Mina. Yes, she is one of the best in the state, best in the North Central, one of the best in the country. Congratulations once again. Another very interesting story is Senate step down electoral bill plans executive session Thursday. The Senate has deferred consideration of the report on Electoral Act 2022 Repeal and Amendment Act Amendment Bill 2026, opting to first subject the proposed amendments to further internal scrutiny through an executive session on Thursday. Senate President Godswill Akpabio announced the decision during Wednesday plenary after the Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele, APC Ekiti Central, requested that senators be allowed to take home copies of the report prepared by Senate Committee on Electoral Matters for a detailed close-by-close study. Akpabio agreed with her request, stressing that the Senate must avoid rushing legislation with far-reaching implications for Nigerian democratic process. Yes, Nigeria will be waiting to see what come out of this electoral act. Recall that one of the requirements, or one of the proposal, or one of the suggestions in that bill is that any person caught buying or selling vote will be fined 5 million naira and will be in prison for 2 years. And for those who actually are a candidate, there's going to be 10-year ban for contesting or be part of any electoral process in the country. Yes, there's going to be a strengthening of a transmission of a result via electronic transmission of result. Again, your voter's card will be scanned and be printed at the polling unit as you come to vote. There are a lot of changes in the Electoral Act that if actually upheld, will see Nigerian democratic process growing from what it used to be to something that will give the election, any election, to make it a very fair and of course credible. Another very interesting story we have here: we won't recognize election conducted by Amupitan Sharia Council. A little insight to that story has it that the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, SCNCN, on Wednesday declared that the Muslim Ummah will not recognize any election conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC chairman, INEC, under the leadership of its chairman, Professor Joash Amupitan. Speaking during the Council annual pre-Ramadan lecture and General Assembly in Abuja, the Council called for Amupitan's removal, citing a lack of confidence in his integrity to be fair to all faith in Nigeria. The President of the Council, Sheikh Bashir Aliyu Umar, said this mistrust arose after Amupitan uttered a brief claiming that Christians in Nigeria are victims of genocide, a claim repeatedly dismissed by the federal government. He said Amupitan had previously described the Boko Haram insurgency and attack by Fulani herdsmen as part of a coordinated anti-Christian campaign requiring international intervention. Yes, in what appears to be a counter to that story, we have Khan reject Sharia court call for INEC chair's removal. A little insight into that story has it that the Christian Association of Nigeria, Khan, in the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory FCT has rejected calls by the Supreme Council of Sharia in Nigeria seeking the removal of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, Professor Joash Amupitan. The Sharia Council had demanded the immediate removal and prosecution of the INEC chairman, accusing him of compromised integrity following a legal brief in which he reportedly acknowledged claims of persecution and genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Reacting in a statement on Thursday, the chairman of the Northern Khan, Reverend Joseph John Yahab, and its Secretary General, Bishop Mohammed Naga, questioned the motive behind the call. The body warned against what it described as a dangerous politicization of religion and asked for the reason why the sponsor of the campaign were pursuing such interests under the cover of a religious organization. The association described the demand as an attempt to undermine a key national institution, stressing that Professor Amipitan has the constitutional right to freedom of religion. It argued that expressing concern over challenges faced by one's faith does not amount to a bias of disqualification from public office. Yes, like you all know, one of the theory of Karl Marx is that religion is the opium of the masses. When politicians want to get at you, they look at what becomes so sensitive within you, which is religion. In Nigeria today, one of the most sensitive things is religion. Christian, Muslim, yes, Islam and Christianity, these are the two predominant religions, and you have faithful people who actually uphold the integrity of their religion. They never play with anything that has to do with religion. Knowing this fact, politicians always take advantage of religion. What you must put into consideration is that after election, which politician do you see going about building mosques and churches? None of them does that. So I think Nigerians need to wake up from their big slumber. The issue of religion should not be a basis for our argument. Yes, integrity, competency, and your pedigree should be the watchword. Another very interesting story we have here: KTSG commissioned EU-funded quick impact project school in Daga community. The Katsina State Governor Malam Dikko Umar Wada has commissioned and symbolically handed over a rehabilitated primary school in Daga community, Jibia local government area, executed under the European Union EU-funded conflicts prevention, crisis response and resilience CPCRR program. Speaking, the vice chairman of the project steering committee and deputy chief of staff to the governor, Honorable Muntari Aliu Saulawa, who represented the PSC chairman, Governor Malam Dikko Sadiq Umar Wada, thanked the European Union for funding the project and commended the implementation partners, the International Organization for Migration, Mercy Corps, and Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, for their commitment and cooperation. According to him, the Daga project is of the 26 Quick Impact Project QIPS initiated under the Former Conflicts, Migration and Community Reconciliation CMRC program, which later transitioned into the current CPCRR program. All the 25 projects have been successfully completed, commissioned and handed over to communities in Kankara, Dan Musa, Batsari, and Jibia local government areas, except this one, which experienced some challenges. Those challenges have now been overcome, and today we are commissioning and handing over the renovated blocks and newly constructed classroom to the host community. This is according to the governor. He urged the people of Daga to take full ownership of the facility and ensure its proper maintenance to guarantee sustainability. Quick win, you may say. These are some of the things that this radio have been calling on government across all levels, that as Nigerians are, agitating and complaining about a developmental project not being visible or having a kind of clumsy movement, that the government should introduce a quick win project so that it will have a direct impact to the life of Nigeria, particularly here in Niger State. Some of the quick win this radio have actually been advocating that the government should put forward is to make sure that water reticulation is being taken serious, where you have pipes being vandalized, or as a result of the ongoing construction work going on in the state, some of the pipes have been uprooted. The government should actually have tanks, water that will be going to different locations, different area within and outside the metropolis, so that people can have water. As it is now, there is a serious outbreak of cholera because the source of water people are fetching their water is so unhealthy and very disastrous, and the government have to do something very, very quickly about that. One other quick win people are asking of is access to farm. The government must help farmers so that they can have tractors and all other farming equipment, so that they can engage in dry season farming and of course prepare for the forthcoming rainy season. The intervention the government must give to farmers are fertilizer, insecticide, and some other things that the farmers actually needed very much well, as the farmers have actually in the last farming season run most farmers have actually not too happy, because after purchasing fertilizer and other farming equipment at a very exorbitant price, you have the government crashing the price by importing food. Many farmers in the country are not too happy with this kind of devastating condition they find themselves. We hope and pray that the government will compensate farmers by subsidizing the farm implements and other things the farmers need to make sure they go back to farm at ease. Another very interesting story, 2027. Those thinking not won't vote Tinubu, making big mistake, Ganduje. A former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, have said those thinking the northern Nigeria will not vote to re-elect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027 were making a big mistake. He spoke on Friday in Abuja when the northern Nigerian youth leaders from 19 northern states paid him a courtesy visit for his decoration as the patron of the forum. The former Kano governor said there is no better candidate, or there is no better candidate rather, to govern Nigeria beyond 2027 from the southern Nigeria than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said, and I quote, Ganduje said Nigeria is lucky to have the first real politician in Bola Tinubu. He said, and I quote, pertaining to the next election in 2027, those that are noticing or thinking otherwise that the North will vote another candidate other than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu are making a big mistake. He said, this is the first time Nigeria as a nation is lucky to have politician as president. His constituency is politics. His upbringing is politics because he believed in the unity of this country. In fact, he struggled. He was even in exile for democracy to survive in Nigeria. So, there is no better person to be elected in 2027 than President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Ganduje said there was no agreement even before the election of the late President Muhammad Buhari that after he said there was an agreement even before the election of late President Muhammad Buhari that after 8 years of his government, a Southern will emerge. Said Aswaju has only been here for less than 4 years now, and we have seen measures of reform that he undertook, the reform he introduced in order to improve the social economic development of this country. Well, I must say that it's not on him to give the scorecard. Nigerians who actually did the voting, over 8 billion Nigerians who voted and others who actually supported, will have to tell in 2027 whether the reforms the government is dishing out is what Nigeria required, and if it's something that one can leverage on as an achievement. I think the 2027 poll will actually justify that. So let's keep fingers crossed and see the 2027 election, what happened at the end of the day. Federal government approved 1 trillion naira metropolitan rail project for Kano. Well, you may say probably this is why the former national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, is actually saying that the North will definitely vote Tinubu in 2027. Yes, for those thinking otherwise, he said they are making a big mistake. Let's look at this story, then we'll juxtapose it with his earlier statement. The federal government have approved the construction of a 1 trillion naira metropolitan rail service in Kano State. The Kano Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf announced the approval while addressing members of the state contingent who participated in the 2025 National Quran Recitation Competition held in Borno State. According to the governor, the rail project is designed to overhaul public transportation within the Kano metropolis by providing a modern, efficient and affordable mass transit system that will connect the key districts across the states. Governor Yusuf described the project as a landmark federal government intervention that will reposition Kano as a major transportation and commercial hub in the northern Nigeria. He also linked the approval to his administration's recent realignment with the federal government led by the All Progressive Congress APC, noting that the move was strategic and aimed at attracting critical development project to the state. Yes, I think the governor is trying to justify his move to the APC. Probably it was his sudden move to the APC that led to this sudden, awarding of contract, or probably since President Muhammadu Buhari led, have actually constructed rail project from Lagos to Ibadan. Probably this is a return mark to the north, since the former president is of the north, but he went to Lagos to construct the standard gauge from Lagos to Ibadan. I think yes, it could be a return match, or probably an attempt to justify the movement of Abba Kabir Yusuf of the formerly NNPP to the APC. Probably some governors who are not of the APC will be lured through this type of gesture to say they too want to cross carpet to the APC. As it stands, you have close to 30 governors in the APC. Yes, 2027 election is going to be a very interesting one, because it's going to be governors who will be leading their state into election. But will the state follow? Only time shall tell. Yes, another very interesting story. UK court hears evidence naming Tinubu, Osibanjo, Aluko, Kachuku in Dezani, Alisa Madukwe's corruption trial. A little inside that story has it that at the resumed hearing of the UK corruption trial involving former Nigerian Minister of Petroleum Resources, Dezani Alisa Madueke, prosecutor on Thursday presented what they described as a substantial body of documentary and digital evidence before the Southwark Crown Court. The prosecution told the court that material placed on the record included transcript of audio recordings, WhatsApp communication, emails, and correspondence allegedly recovered during search conducted by the National Crime Agency and the Metropolitan Police at the properties linked to the defendant. During the proceedings, prosecutors outlined a number of allegations said to arise from the seized material, emphasizing that those matters form part of the prosecution case and remained subject to judicial determination. Among the issues referred to in the open court were claims attributed to oil executive Olatimbo Ayinde, suggesting that individuals associated with the businessman Kola Aluko benefited from their proximity to him. Ayinde is an ally of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The court also heard references to an alleged acrimonious dispute between Mrs. Ayinde and businessman Femi Otedola, including a letter reportedly addressed to the former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, in which concerns about threat to her life safety were said to have been arise. Prosecutors further alleged that a politician and businessman Dumebi Kachuku acted as an intermediary in certain financial transactions connected to his brother Ibe Kachuku, a former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and former Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. The court had claims of substantial monetary transfers, luxury expenditures, including the alleged purchase of a high-value watch from Harrods and payments said to have covered medical expenses. It was also stated that correspondence authored by lawyer and current Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo, in his capacity as legal counsel, characterized some of the payments as relating to the land transactions. In addition, the prosecution referred to material said to contain telephone communication involving Nigeria's current president Bola Ahmed Tinubu and former Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, as well as a record of a meeting involving Osibanjo's former Chief of Staff Diola Ipaye, part of which were reportedly transcribed. The prosecutor emphasized that all material cited were being tendered as part of the prosecution's evidentiary case in support of the charge before the court. The trial continues, with the defense expected to respond as the proceedings advance. Yes, very quickly, I have one very interesting story here before we go to our star story of the week. CAF suspended coach, players, fine Senegal, Morocco over misconduct in AFCON 2025 final. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, have suspended several players and officials and imposed heavy fines on Senegal and Morocco following misconduct during the 2025 AFCON Cup of Nations finals in Rabat. In a statement released on Thursday, CAF said the sanctions were imposed by its disciplinary board for breaches of the CAF disciplinary code, including violation of the principle of fair play, loyalty, and integrity during and after the final match. According to CAF, Senegal head coach Pep Bon Tiao was handed 5-match suspension from all official CAF competition for what it described as unsporting conduct and bringing the game into disrepute. Mr. Pep Thiaw was also fined $100,000 CAF set. Two Senegalese players, Cheikh Boroy and Ismail Sarr, were each suspended for 2 official CAF matches for unsporting behavior towards match official. CAF further sanctioned the Senegalese Football Federation with multiple fines, including $300,000 for conduct of its supporters and another $300,000 for behavior of its players and technical staff. Another additional fine of $15,000 were imposed on the FSF after 5 Senegal players were booked during the match. Morocco was also hit with sanctions, with defender Hakimi suspended for 2 official CAF matches, one of which was suspended for a probatory period of 1 year for unsporting behavior. Midfielder Ismail Saibari received a 3-match suspension and a fine of $100,000 for similar offenses. Morocco Football Federation was fined $200,000 over the conduct of ball boys during the final, while another $100,000 was imposed for the action of players and officials who invaded the VAR, video assistant referee view area. CAF said the Moroccan official obstructed the referee work, adding that a further $15,000 fine was issued for the use of laser by Morocco supporters. The AFCON final played at the Sadeh Mohammed on 18 January 2026 was marked by controversy in the closing stage of the regulation time. Well, a lot of story there. Very briefly, we have this one: explosion, heavy gunfire rocked Niger Republic. Loud explosion and heavy gunfire rocked the main airport in Nigeria's capital, Niamey, on Thursday morning. The international airport in Niamey houses a military base and has held a significant shipment of uranium for Nigeria's mines meant for export. The residents told Associated Press that targeted areas from video capturing the loud blast seemed to be Diori Hamani's International Airport, a key military hub for the Nigeris. Yes, this is too sad. Now to the sad story of the week. Very quickly, Governor Bago approves total lifting of ban on motorcycle and tricycle in Minna metropolis. Yes, bright and promising, you may say. Niger State Governor Farmer Umar Mohamed Bago have approved the total lifting of restriction on the movement of motorcycles and tricycles within Minna metropolis between the hours of 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. This development was disclosed in a statement issued by the Secretary to the Government of the State, Alhaji Abubakar Uthman, who explained that the decision followed a comprehensive review of the prevailing security situation in the state capital and was based on the strong recommendation of the State Security Committee. According to the SSG, the removal of the restriction is a clear reflection of the significant and sustained improvement in the security landscape of Minna. He noted that initial imposition of the ban was a proactive measure to effectively achieve its primary objective of curbing criminal activities and protecting lives and property. Yes, these are the stories we have for you this bright and promising Saturday morning. At this very point in time, we shall be opening our phone line for you to call in and make your voice heard on this platform. Please, when you call, you have just less than 60 seconds to make your own contribution. So let's take our very first call before we go to the Facebook page. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, MD Awal.
I always commend you for a job welcome development. A lot of people have gone a lot of stress about this tricycle and motorcycle. But thank God for the governor for his foresight for lifting that. My second take, I must commend the troops of our gallant officers neutralizing some bandits in Kwara State. You can see Usman Abaya, the only way to go about this issue of insecurity is reinforcement. And look at what is happening even in our neighboring country. The only way to go about this issue of insecurity, we have to bring a total clampdown on this criminal. And I've said it on several occasions. It's very wrong for we to be negotiating with this criminal. And that is why you can see this issue is linked in Nigeria. So there should be a total clampdown on this criminal. My last take is on political shenanigans.
Please, we because of time, we will have to, give others opportunity to call. 09138579001 is number to call. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, all in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
I remain Mohammed Sani Damina from Chikarangari. Congratulations to the teacher that are doing the best.
Yes.
Congratulations to her. Not just taking time. My take goes to Ricky. Ricky, I wish that Ricky should go through the letter that the former president Olusegun Obasanjo wrote. Again, it's very important.
Yes.
Because it will be used and dumped. And right away, his leg is already hung. The two legs of him is hung already. He has not been in PDP, and he has nowhere to found in any political party platform. So I wish he should have and come down and iron the problem between him and the workers. And that would be the best of him. That's my take.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Let's take some Facebook page here, messages here. We have this one coming from Yahaya Adamu Jaba. He said, good morning, best wishes, Mr. Paya. Thank you very much. Umar Azmi said, even the great Nelson Mandela did just one time as a president because he felt it was too old to govern, right? He said President Buhari, yes, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should retire and go and rest. Although great Mandela was a true freedom fighter who forgets and who fought and stay for his people, not some running. Well, I think it's a very lengthy one there. So if I can just take the message, or let's take this call. Hello.
Good morning. My name is Ambassador Gibu the Challenger. I'm calling you from Tudun Fulani City.
Okay.
You see, what you just read now, if you take a look at it, it is a right direction in the sense that you see, if you take a look at it properly, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has taken an oath that his first primary assignment is to protect life and property of his citizens. And his second primary assignment is to provide succor for his citizens. With the oath he took, is he really doing the needful in this aspect? Is he traveling? Look at the issue of insecurity, you have not tackled it. The issue of constant electricity supply and constant water supply, where is it? The issue of you lifting more than half of Nigerians out of poverty, you have not done that. And more than half of Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. And the traveling is traveling to sign MOU so that investors will come. With investors come in a place that, you understand, there is no constant electricity supply and there is no permanent solution to tackle this insecurity. Is it the solar also rock that they will take and give them so that they will run their companies? Every living soul must test debt. If President Ahmed Bola Tinubu cannot do the need, he should resign so that somebody that is competent more than him should take over.
All right, thank you very much. I think President's visit to Turkey is one thing that many have actually commended. Yes, including this radio, because we said Turkey is one of the best places you can go and get this equipment. America will definitely not give you, even they want to give, they will not do it with a free mind. But Turkey, they have all we needed. So I think President's visit to Turkey is one of very interesting trip to have a bilateral agreement that is really need to be commended. Let's just hope and be optimistic that the bilateral agreement they had will see the light of the day. Hello.
Hello, Usman Apaya. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Adekunle.
Thank you very much. Happy weekend to you and every member of the studio.
Okay, go ahead.
You see, let me concur with you. You see, federal government signing agreement, partnership with Turkey to support our issue of insecurity. Apaya, for me, it is a very big one. I mean, it's a very welcome development in terms of this trial of insecurity challenge in our country. You see, we need most of this Western world and even most of these Arab countries to support us. If the Americans are not really supporting us, and even the British are not really supporting us, at least we should channel our grievances to other places. And that is just what Turkey and Nigeria have just done. And I believe it will go a long way to bring support to issue of insecurity in Nigeria. It is a welcome one. And secondly, lifting of Okada ban and Keke Napep in Mina. For me, it's a welcome ban one in Mina for now. But I believe the security have put a lot of arrangement on the ground before they leave the bank, so that we will not go to where we belong to at the end of the day, where most of all these boys will be taking advantage, taking after starting collecting people's phone, taking people's knife, and all that thing will be back again. So we don't pray for that. It's a welcome one in Minana that they lifted. I believe normal business can go the way it is.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take some of the Facebook messages. We have Aliu Usman say, good morning, Badegi Radio. Thank you very much. Umar and Azmi say, when a criminal becomes a king, every criminal is in the kingdom becomes a member of the royal family. When you vote in wrong people into systems, so many things will go wrong, ranging from basic amenities, insecurity, backwardness, looting of a country's resources, and living with hopeless hope, lesson learned. Kiri Jiki Magai. Julius Samuel say, good morning, Badegi. Thank you very much. We have Ali say, Mieti Allah's president official arrest over kidnapping terrorism sponsor in Kwara. Leaders in the Kwara State chapter of Mieti Allah, including their president Idris Abubakar, have been arrested for involvement in kidnap and sponsorship of armed bandit group in the state. Well, that's the national story here. Zaid Adamu Sada say, congratulations to Khadija family, Ministry of Education and Niger State government. Good morning, Mr. Fire. Thank you. Yes, congratulations once again, Hajia Khadija Galadima, our mother. Yes, Abdulrahman Abdullah said, good morning, Badegi Radio. Thank you very much. Rich Land Wisdom said, good morning, Apaya. North will not vote Tinubu comes 2027. Does not now what is happening in the North? Well, I can't. Yes, does 2027 does not know. Well, that's how I understand the message. Sorry. We have this one coming from Yaya Adamu Jaba. He said, yes, we've read this one. Let's take one last and we wrap up the program for today. Yes, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Abubakar from Gurara.
Okay, go ahead. You have 1 minute and you'll be my last caller.
Okay. My own take is about the smell teacher I was giving about my cruise.
Yes, Kaladima.
Others let adopt the same character from her.
Yes.
That was a good one. Congrats to her.
Yes. Thank you very much for
Khadija.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's Badegi, on behalf of Badegi Radio, want to say congratulations, Khadija Galadima, for being an outstanding teacher. Yes, it's now left for Niger State government to actually motivate all the teachers, particularly the primary school teachers, so that they can do more, so that they can keep the state proud. You can see the outstanding performance you have put forward, and of course, the name of the state has been glorified. So after the 25 billion naira from the organizers, let's see what Niger State government is going to do as a sign of motivation and encouragement, so that she can do more and other teachers could do more. Well, listeners, this is where the curtains fall on this program for today. We sincerely like to thank you for always taking your time to listen to programs on Badegi Radio. As always, we appreciate you. Without you, we wouldn't be here. And from all of us here, I am Usman Apaya. Thank you for listening. God bless you, and goodbye for now.